Lake, California, out here right off of Highway 38. We're gonna head up into the San Bernardino Forest to Angelus Oaks and Poopout Hill. Now, if you've seen our Big Bear video, we absolutely love riding in this area. And we love it even better to have the Redlands crew show us around. So, looks like there's a lot to see. Let's roll. Our route covered nearly 50 miles and a sturdy 6,000 feet of climbing, with a number of historical traces along the way. One of the main reasons I was looking forward to this ride was Old Mountain Creek Home Road, or known locally as Loch Leven, that was born out of a stagecoach route, as the area still has footprints connected to the Holcomb Valley Gold Rush of 1849. We met Michael, Russ, and Brian at a parking area off of Highway 38 and the Warm Springs Truck Trail, which was an off-road option on the way back. After a brief 1.5 mile warm-up on the highway, we turned off onto Loch Leven with some promising signs, passing by the gate and the in-use retreat, ready for some closed road action. This 6-mile climb doesn't wander too far off its 5.8 average, but it's exceptional seeing how it winds its way up the mountains. As the cracked pavement partially remains on the ascent, it's hard to fathom vehicles navigating this road as late as the 1950s. The views are distracting enough, and it's hard to imagine where vehicles could have moved aside for oncoming traffic. Time has definitely taken its toll, with a number of landslides narrowing your path or even altering its dynamics altogether. As you hit the creek crossing, the route improvises with a short hike as the bike trail diverts around a washed out hairpin. I got this. Back on the road, you're even more thankful that cycling is the best option for experiencing these views, while pondering, how do they service these poles anymore? It's a clear-cut exit if you can make it up into the residential of Angelus Oaks, leading you directly to Highway 38 with a short jaunt to the country store, which is a reliable place for a stop. We started our loop clockwise on the highway, but even with some traffic on the road, the ride was very palatable as an efficient way to gain altitude, averaging a slight incline over 5.5 miles, with the peak south of Big Bear not far off in the distance. You come too close to the remnants of the El Dorado fire that burned 23,000 acres of the forest thanks to a never useful gender reveal gone wrong. The turnoff to Jenks Road is easy to spot, where the climbing continues, now at a steeper clip, which you'll enjoy without as many vehicles zipping by. Right before our main side adventure, we dip down for 1/2 mile into Jenks Lake, which is a quaint spot to take families, learning how to fish, which is worthy of a stop, even with the climb back out. The start of Poopout Hill is right after you return to Jenks Road, covering 3.4 miles, averaging a deceptive 4.4%. The surface intermittently has pavement near the start, as the dirt is in relatively good shape too. Now hovering above 7,000 feet, you're afforded broader views with Sugarloaf Mountain to your left and San Gorgonio looming ahead at 11,500 feet. One take you have to consider coming from LA is how the weather can vary drastically. As we were cognizant, we were headed towards a storm, and reaching the peak left an abbreviated photo op as the rain started coming down. It was the right amount of moisture being laid below to complement the descent as the experience we hoped for. Although it wasn't as friendly for camera work. We returned to heading east on Jenks Road, where the rain would eventually let up and the sign didn't come into play, allowing us to enjoy more vertical payback. The road exited us out back to Highway 38, where we could let loose more before turning off to the South Fork campground, where we hoped for running tap water, but gladfully accepted this generous offering. We continued on the opposite side of the highway, on Seven Oaks Road, which mostly follows the Santa Ana River by its origins. It's a mixture of off-road, which is in pretty good shape, thanks to the population of cabins and too many campers. At least it wasn't a bear. Still, it's an ideal spot for biking, even catching Jonas Woodruff taking it easy for a change, on the way for some bike packing. Seven Oaks turns into a two-lane road approaching the enclave bearing its name. As you pass the spot of the infamous 2013 manhunt of Christopher Dorner ending in a shootout, but everything seems hunky-dory right past it in this resort community. After a little more downhill rip, the pavement ends, leading you into the final climb of the day, keeping a steady 5% over 3.5 miles. You remember what it's like to be deep in a forest, as the opportunity for larger views are occluded by so many trees. Maybe you take these good surface conditions for granted, because before you know it, you exit out to a mystery location. Oh, never mind. Once again, you're at the foot of the country store for another great excuse for a stop. Looking forward to enjoy the downhill fruits from climbing Loch Leven. You might not focus so much on the views this time, because you'll be gripping and keeping your eyes ahead, realizing with gravity at your side, you might have to hold it back a bit in case others were coming up, making you think once again, did they actually let vehicles on this road? After the dismount zone, the fun returned, although you have to be careful not to get caught in some of the grooves thanks to the pavement. There's a bit of melancholy knowing the end is near, but don't we all wish for days like these? My apologies for having no in-ride commentary. This was just so much fun. There was no pause for that. I mean, the dirt was in pretty great shape, a lot of fun both going up and down, and all this within a footprint that was built out in the 1800s. It had everything. It was an hour and a half drive for us. I would double that just to get out here. You should too. Anyways, please subscribe to Gravel Bike California if you haven't already. And if you're looking to getting some t-shirts with a bear in the middle of some letters, some other GBC gear, check out our store and our whole slew of gravel guides. So we'll bring you more from State of Dirt.